So this is the synopsis and the opening of the first chapter of Octopus Pirate.
He said with a straight face.
Somehow. Set in the Victorian period, Octopus Pirate is a time-travelling steampunk tale of a foundling who discovers he has unusual talents, such as camouflage, squishing into small spaces, and the ability to communicate with octopuses. He is washed up on an island off the Scottish mainland. An eccentric former nun called Mary, who lives there alone with her cats, brings him up and names him after her favourite character in a book, Pinocchio. Later she changes this to Coco for convenience. As a teenager, Coco joins the circus, where he makes friends with Eric, who is an electronic magician, and in his act makes a robot teleport across the tent. Coco, narrowly escaping plots against him, flees to Cornwall with Eric. Here they raise funds to build a replica pirate ship, which is also an airship, and they travel back in time to fight real pirates. Crews consist of Victorian men who want to fight without any repercussions. It's Fight Club, but with a twist or 20. Everything goes pretty smoothly, until a young girl, Sage, who has been posing as a boy, got injured. Against all agreements, Coco brings her back through time to hospital. Unfortunately, the police now think that he might be a murderer. Right. That's the synopsis.
Excellent synopsis.
That was very well read.
Yes, I'm finished it. It's going to read some chapter.
Chapter 1. The Birth of the Octopus Pirate. Catherine gasped. She was feeling uncomfortably hot. She took out a clean white handkerchief and wiped the sweat beads from her forehead. Being on board a cruise ship had been the last thing she had wanted. Horace, her husband, had been newly appointed as captain. It was a big deal, and he had expected her to accompany him and be a dutiful Victorian wife. All around, her jubilant people, dressed in their finest clothes, were gaily promenading around the deck of the ship. A string quartet played. Catherine recognised the song. It was Beethoven. The sweet notes, jollity lifting the air, would have made her smile normally. But not today, as although this was a large ship, in Catherine's heavily pregnant state, the movement of the waves, however small, were violent enough to make her feel sick. She looked around at the faces of the passengers. She knew no one, nor did she want to. Their laughter sounded false and forced to her. She watched them revoltingly as they were greedily drinking the free champagne. She looked down at her large belly, freely, overwhelmingly sad. She had not liked the thought of giving birth at sea, even though there was a good doctor and mini hospital on board. This was not how she'd imagined motherhood to be. She thought of her home, a lovely red brick house, the open fireplaces, and the beautifully decorated nursery, ready for this much-anticipated first child. Okay, she had known what being married to a seaman would be like, as seamen were in her blood. They ran dark and red through her family history. Horace had also come from a long line of seamen. However, his ancestors had not set sail on such a fancy ship as this. As far back, they were rumoured to be pirates. The Empress was an impressive steamship. Catherine leant back on the top deck wall and admired the small gay bunting that fluttered in the wind. The smell from the buffet was rich and sweet, and Catherine felt salty bile build in her mouth. She turned and walked away from everybody. She did not feel like being sociable. She did not want to be there, and the smell of the sticky food was making her feel more unwell. As Catherine reached the bow of the boat, she was pleased to find she was alone. She walked up to the edge of the railings and gulped deep breaths of the fresh, cold, salty air. Suddenly, she began to feel a little faint. She swung around to call out for help, but lost her balance and without notice, plummeted deep into the icy waves below. The fear hit her at once. She would drown. She felt as if she was being pulled down deeper and deeper. The noise of the propellers was deafening. Catherine looked up above her to the now faraway surface. She could see the waves break above her. Her clothes were heavy. She did her best to climb out of them and desperately fought to get back up. As she hit the surface, she gasped for air. The ship was now a good way in front, the waves from its large engines pouring a surge and current that rocked Catherine from side to side. Desperately treading water. "Help!" she cried. But it was useless. A sudden realization.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you. Brilliant. Thank you.